I'm here with Kevin Praffrath, who is basically, you want to be the spoiler candidate of this election.
No, spoiler candidate, that's interesting. I mean, look, the Democratic Party didn't choose a backup candidate, and we think that's a big mistake. They're essentially telling people to leave part of a ballot blank rather than having a backup option. If Newsom fails, then what? There's no backup. It's either sabotage or it's Governor Newsom being selfish. I think it's a mistake, and I think there should be a backup option.
So do you actually think you have a chance of winning, or is this just
absolutely.
like, so they won't vote for Larry Elder?
No, I mean, I think anybody at this point is better than Newsom. The reason I believe that is no matter who gets in, if they are a Republican, I believe they're going to have a very difficult time working with the legislature, which means the Republicans very unlikely to get anything done, which means we'll have a Democratic-controlled legislature run the state until the 2022 election, when a Democrat has another opportunity. But that would open up the field for other Democrats and new ideas. The last thing we need is more of the same, which is what we have to do.
So are you telling people to vote to recall him, to not vote?
Yeah, I mean, my messaging is really whether you are for or against, vote for Kevin Praffrath. So we're getting Republican votes, we're getting yes on recall votes, we're getting no on recall votes. But I personally will be voting yes on the recall.
And what are your like landmark policies if you were elected?
Yeah, so it's a two-part plan that I have. First, we have to deal with the homeless dying on our streets. So within 60 days, we have to actually provide services that people need.
What if they don't want services? Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't there a law that says, I think this was under Reagan, that if you do not want services, you do not have to take them?
Yeah, you don't have to. So we're going to create optional emergency facilities that provide drug abuse support, mental health support, food, clean showers, a place for people to store their belongings so they're not pushing them around our cities or whatever. We're going to provide that service in the areas where homeless are. Once we deal with homelessness within 60 days, we have to solve the causes of homelessness. That means fixing our schools. Fifth largest economy in the world, and we're bottom 20% in schools. So we got to invest in our schools, financial education in schools, career training in schools, very, very important, so we can break the cycle of poverty. Then we can deal with crime.
What does that mean, though, invest in our schools? Because Newsom has said that he's put in landmark investments, and you could argue that he has done some. I mean, my school gives out free school lunches after school. Are you talking about free community college, free...
What I'm talking about is creating future schools. So future schools would be a completely separate school from our existing system, and these would be an opportunity. People would have the choice. It's a version of school choice almost. People would have a choice to go to a future school at 16. And there they could learn some high school, some college, business communication, sales skills, but they'd also learn financial education and career skills. So that way at 18, they can get a career. They could be a nurse, a licensed architect, an engineer, a plumber by 18, a computer engineer, whatever. And they can do that by 18 rather than having to go to college. Then we take that same model and give adults the opportunity to go there while paying them $2,000 per month to go there. So now that means people in prison, people who are homeless.
So it's like a somewhat UBI.
If you go to the school and it's only for 2 years. So it wouldn't be universal, but it would be a form of basic income for 2 years. It's $48,000. And so now California's investing in people. And when you do that, you don't have 70% recidivism, which is what you have with prisons now. We spend $240,000 for 2 years for somebody to sit in jail or prison. Then they get out, they can't get a job. They don't have skills, and they don't have money. If they went to a future school, you break the cycle of crime. Why? They get out, they can get a career, they have startup capital, they make money. They're not dependent on social services like welfare. They're not dependent on Medi-Cal, which 1/3 of Californians are. Now you can reduce the cost of running California, and you can lower taxes for everyone.
So your ultimate goal is to lower taxes. Are there any specific, the gas tax is really controversial. Are you?
Yeah. So regarding the gas tax, the way we can solve that is we'll put out a request for proposal day one, and we'll look for ideally 5 to 10 different private companies that can build us optional toll road tunnels under our freeways. So where there's congestion, 405, 101 interchange, for example, take 10 miles, build tunnels under there. Buses can use them for free. And
is that practical? I mean, they've been trying to build trains and all of that for years, and they haven't been able to do that. Longer than I've been alive.
It's because you don't have a governor who's capable of leading the legislature and making sure that we can have unified policies that enable these. It's absolutely possible. It's safe. It's safer. Tunnels are safer in earthquakes than the streets are. And so it's very important that we invest in the things that make California more efficient. Better transportation would. And if we charge for those toll roads, they're optional, people can use the freeways. But if we charge for them, now we can lower the gas tax. Now we can fix our roads and repave our roads. So very important.
Thank you so much.